Hi guys, welcome back. Today you'll be getting 10 ways you can increase your own CPF for your own retirement. Now, if you're at your desk, I recommend take out a piece of paper and a pen, write down some notes, what in terms of action you can take as of today, because in this 10, I'm sure there's a couple that you've missed out. So with that, let's roll in the intro. Now, have you actually logged into your CPF before? If you have logged in, if you scroll down, you realize you have this section whereby it states for you how much you can get invested into with your CPFOA and your CPFSA. Now, it's a shortcut. Australia suggests you only invest your CPFOA. The CPFSA gives you 4% and the investment options are very limited. So let's keep that aside. Today's focus is how you can invest, mainly is regarding your CPFOA. Now, the first thing to suggest to you today is you can actually invest your CPFOA into funds, professionally managed products. If you see in that section, which I'll pull out for you to quickly see, you realize this is a section whereby you can invest any amounts that is above the 20,000 mark that you have. Take a ballpark figure. If you have 120,000 inside your CPFOA, you can invest 100,000 into professionally managed products, which are funds. You can get into unit trust funds, you can get into STI ETF. So in terms of funds wise, right, what you need to do is to select funds that suit your risk appetite, and very easily you can actually beat this 2.5% that CPF gives you in terms of interest rate with a long-term horizon. Now, in that case, if you're not familiar, look for a professional investment advisor, because that is going to help you shortcut your decision making and save you from investment mistakes. Now, the second thing that you can do with your CPFOA to maximize your own retirement is you can actually get it invested into stocks itself. If you're someone savvy, if you are someone who's a high risk taker, you can actually buy stocks, buy shares on the Singapore Exchange. You cannot buy overseas listed shares. So in terms of Singapore Exchange, most of the shares are actually available to purchase using CPFOA. Only a small section of penny stocks are not available. So if you're looking for blue chips like Singtel, OCBC, Keppel Corp, these you can buy using CPFOA. I've also a blog post below that why I've actually bought before Keppel Corp using CPFOA, but that was a personal choice. So you decide for yourself whether Keppel Corp suits your risk appetite. Keppel Corp is something that you understand. So look for the link below to find a little bit better for your own decision making. Now, the third part that I would like to suggest for you is you can actually invest into gold. Do you know that there's actually this small section? I haven't done it myself before, but what you can get invested is 10% of the investable amounts that you can actually buy gold. You can buy gold ETF, you can buy gold certificates, gold account with UOB itself. Now, this is another option just in case you feel that there's war, there's some inflation risk that you want to get gold to hedge your portfolio, and you believe gold beats 2.5%, that's the main thing, then you can actually explore this option. Now, the fourth way you can increase your CPF, especially if you're a student right now, is to start your career early. Do you know that part-time jobs also accrue CPF contributions for you? That is why if you are right now in university, you can actually do your part-time, bring in some CPF, start this compounding effect. You know, the 8th wonder is often known as the compounding effect. And when you start accumulating CPFOA and SA, you realize that you are ahead in this journey. You can build a lot more in terms of CPF for your own retirement. The fifth way that you can actually increase your CPF, especially if you're a parent, is not to use CPFOA to pay off any children's education loan. Now, what you can do is actually you can save up. One of my preferred methods is to save up inside CDA account, which eventually converts to a PSEA account, which pays 2.5% interest. There's no need to use CPF to go and pay it off for your child's education. Build up enough in the PSEA so that your child can actually tap on that instead of tapping onto your CPF. Now, of course, this requires you to have certain sufficient cash flow. If you are cash flow tight, then naturally the CPF is a very simple source. Then maybe the best way is to motivate your kid to get a bursary so that saves your own CPF for your own retirement. The sixth way you can actually get more CPF for your own retirement is actually move your CPFOA accounts to your CPFSA accounts. Do you know that CPFOA pays 2.5%, but SA pays 4%, 1.5% more in terms of interest? Naturally, when you move amounts there, you're going to get more interest per year. Of course, that's going to lead to a bigger amount for your retirement. But take note, this transfer is a one-way ticket. So whatever amounts, do budget carefully for your mortgage needs, etc. before you actually move it. The seventh factor you can actually increase your CPF for your retirement is actually do retirement sum top-up, RSTU scheme. This scheme actually gives you tax relief. So the tax relief cap is at $7,000. I have a previous video that addresses this topic, and I'll leave links below so that you can actually find out more for yourself whether it suits you. But the main thing is when you contribute your CPF special account, it's locked up until your retirement age. But again, when you voluntarily contribute, you have more, and it goes to this 4% CPF special account. So the 8th point that I have for you today is actually to do voluntary contribution. Voluntary contribution actually applies, especially if your income is less than 6,000 a month. There's certainly some rooms whereby you can do voluntary contribution. If your bonuses last year was less than $30,000, there's a good chance you can do voluntary contribution. This is a quick rule of thumb, but the simplest way is to log into CPF to check what is the limit they can contribute under this VC scheme. So once you do voluntary contribution, naturally you accumulate more, and again there's a tax relief up to the voluntary contribution limit. So these are factors to consider when it comes to increasing your CPFOA, increasing your CPFSA, eventually maximizing your whole retirement pot. Now, before we review the 9 and 10 method, if you have benefited, smash the like button below and subscribe so that you get notified whenever we release a financial video for you, and join our community to become more financially savvy. Now, the 9 and 10 method regards housing, regards mortgage, and the 9 method actually is to use cash to pay off your mortgage rather than depleting your CPFOA. CPFOA was originally meant for retirement needs, but of course, when houses started to get expensive, the rules were changed to allow CPFOA to pay for house. But if you have sufficient cash flow and you are not intending to use it for renovation, for travel, for whatever other needs that you may have, consider using cash to pay off your mortgage so that your CPFOA is preserved. The 10 method is to actually consider refinancing. Of course, that means you have to pass certain periods, qualify to allow you to refinance. But if you refinance now, a simple comparison is HDB interest is at 2.6%, but bank interest right now is around 2%. I have a previous video that states on pros and cons, especially favoring HDB loan. But actually, if you are able to pay off, for example, your HDB quickly in the next 5 years or so, consider refinancing with your bank mortgage, because that actually reduces your liability and naturally that reduces how much you outflow from CPFOA. Make sense? So if this 10 methods, I'd like to hear from you. Is there any that you have missed out? Leave them in the comment sections below. Or is there any further questions that you have regarding any of these 10 methods? I'd like to help you address them personally. With that, I'll sign off. I'll see you in a future video. Take care and goodbye.